And so I told the security services, I said, you cannot allow communities to act with impunity. And so you go back there and arrest all those who were involved in those attacks so that we put back the authority of the state in those areas. And that's why they went back and made those arrests. We're still processing them and taking out those who were involved in the attacks. And we're going to let them face the full rigors of the law.
Almost 1.5 billion. Now, who Galamsey near Yachoka? I was a da. What's our video Saka home? Enter a pick IP address. You be located.
3 days and Maya, what I do, any what's the other? And Maya, what I do, any what's the other? 8 years from we are Gaza,
na asem an yenka muma yenka no kro enti wo kuna ye illegal work ukuna bogo kro no ukuna ye anroba upra gugunipa o se ya de ne wache no won we mu nan kase mu no waso mu nan no de magogum enka we so bete ya nya ne sa amanfo hu se they are breaking the laws.
You are supposed to fight it to make sure you survive. And how can you fight it when with a ministry of 2.1 billion budget, you only give the agency to fight it 150 million Ghana cedis, Mr. Speaker? 150 million Ghana cedis.
One time NPP 8 years, Galamsey West, one cafe. And more than 150 million in Galamsey said when they fight it. Now was if we now we have 24 pickup buses, 250 motorbikes, a friend say gold board, 5 million Ghana cedis, 5 pickups. You said 150 million Ghana cedis. I can also extra NPP asemi adoso. What to Obuasi?
The past 3 weeks, Bonsa has not been able to treat water, and it serves the communities towards Takwa, including Takwa itself. So that means for the past 3 weeks, they've not had quality potable water from Ghana Water.
Friends, I'm from Bonsa water treatment plant. I'm independent of Bonsa water treatment plant. No illegal miners are down. Papa ne say adwuma no aseni na. Omo say omo a friend is saying hose ni water hose ni pipes are. Edin so ni ko ha mo bi enye bi o aseni omo tutu ni na say no. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operation Secretary Taskforce Omakamu Biomo Part 1, 2, and 3 Kase Eja Tuntum Eja Koko Eja Shishye Eshu Bole Wankas Obeba NTDA Heat Water.
Recently, some members of the Anti-Illegal Mining Task Force went to communities to do their jobs, and they were brutally attacked by the whole community. I mean, the one that happened in Ahafo. I mean, but for good luck and, you know, the intervention of God, I mean, those NAIMOS Taskforce would have been killed because there were almost 700 people armed with sticks and stones. Remember what happened to Major Mahama? It was almost a similar incident. And that's not the only place. There have been several places. I'm just trying to explain to you how it has eaten into the fabric of our society. And so I said, no, we cannot have this impunity. And so after they retreated, another group of journalists were going to another community. The community attacked them, and so they had to retreat. In retreating, they had an accident. And so I told the security services, I said, you cannot allow communities to act with impunity. And so you go back there and arrest all those who were involved in those attacks so that we put back the authority of the state in those areas. And that's why they went back and made those arrests. We're still processing them and taking out those who were involved in the attacks. And we're going to let them face the full rigors of the law, because we need to stamp the authority of the state on issues of security and crime. And so that's taking it apart. But one of the most important things is coordination. When we started the fight, the police were running their own task force. The military were running their own task force. different groups, district chief executives were running their own task forces. You know, ministers will gather people and go and say, we're doing anti-Galamsey task force. And there was a lot of extortion from people. They go and say, we're part of the anti-Galamsey task force, and then it's all just to extort money from them. So we said, no, we have to do a proper coordination. And that's how come NAIMOS was created. And so now you have to take the mandate from NAIMOS before you go on an operation. And you let NAIMOS know what operation you're doing, which illegal, you do a reconnaissance, let's know which illegal miners you have identified, and then you go in there. And when you go in there, you go accompanied by the necessary security in order that you can achieve your purposes.
Obuasi Amansie Central District, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat Task Force. NAIMOS wonu go pay mu ewo ho. Na ugo pay mu ewo site na efe no. Anyankyirem. How an illegal mining concession, the illegal mining concession rather. I wa ho no Galamsey for se check eheni ha mo messing ha and illegal miners no ya pambe. Ya wo mu ina ti gonza. Isa omo go pay got na. Ana illegal miners na take over. Omo de omo to me power crache. Omo da crache de ni na afa. Na enu omo go ye ana ma legal mining for no. Eyo ma bi say no dey be. Ade no Asante Gold for ana eyo omo dia. Ana ya pam benti e so omo free government of Ghana say ye no mu agreement e ba ne say na Ghana for yi. Mo ngrofo omo Obuasi Amansie say omo ma ye gold ibio. Omo ye ntu gold omo so omo ma fam gold. Ade ntia ye no mu contract yan sign sa. E ho na National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat Task Force Samo. Okay, yate ye ba. We na America 1010 omuni go through ho wie ya. Galamsey fo ehun say NAIMOS fo no anti-illegal miners fo ana anti-Galamsey fighters yi aba beduru pe na boom. Get away obi adiem nika gidi. E dem omo dem nika kokra. Na we ana task force fo no ese dey bi sa Amansie aya mo ba be stubborn no e make sure say bibia e wo bia no ye mfa ba kokura mfa mfiri ha bibia e be se no enti task force for no I go pay mu e wo a friend say Obuasi Amansie no omo sizi motorbikes, cars, water pumps, omo sizi essay mpatadan dodo omo si esi wo ene enema dodo a na omo ne Galamsey no omo modern say ombedi ni na eda fi Galamsey for instance but Galamsey for nya fast hurry up eti hintin ntemte omudi America pa mko omodane aye pro mo ye nya omonti NAIMOS the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat Task Force for yes right again Oma strike this time around Oma go pay mu Obuasi Amansie na ankoye no nkwa wo Galamsey ni bia ono de oso nte ne ho ase body be go na waye bonye waye ni na ne se ono go ye Galamsey emse fe wasanya vim wo ko kasa asem ya sa kire Ghana for NAIMOS for tia obeti wudri awo o se de Galamsey side NAIMOS for ni ba ya o ma fa nema o metima fa the low bed no betima fa no mo de ko nemo do mo ntimi fa no ana mo fa o mo ankasa mo diesel ana mo hwehwegu ka na so no mpa jatu mo pa ana ni na so 1/1 billion Ghana cedis no de ko to saka no ye ya se no ne kere no ya shin ni na dwere be ana so aba ana mo ye mesa Ghana ni me pa adwuma kakra ye didi ye mese hwe isehunu wo ye ho onfaso che akuafo no omo ye mese no wo ye faso che wo onfaso che ho se school na wanko na ontimi ni certificate obaye adwuma nya employment anase unemployment na unya adwuma nya ya yenkase Ghana obi anya employment yenkase ye so politicians for no ma yade but entienu nti ye monko bokro no ye monko say ye forest ense ye nsu na na ye wu because opa adwuma ye nti they be try my enti ase enti but still ni carry no ya se no ba kwa no say odwa bruta na wo Galamsey ni ya se wo ka wo say edwa what's your video saka ho ente e be pick IP address ni be locate
video just for me site ama be shimi engine na shimeka Kia Rulu 6 cylinders engine almost 1.5 billion amashino
Galamsey ni complain say Yashini Kiara no. At the same time, go pay mu video mu nanu yai. Member of Parliament Baku aye friend. Ebeneza Kwakuado. Our free certificate. Papa no ye kasi Galamsey bi na ekoso. Our video to go through road no so. Aya. Doni krom. Papa yi ni Galamsey site wo ye ko che ni ngro fo say menti ase mania bre call. Owie no bodyguards amfa soldier for the boys ko police station wa ko SWAT town boys abeguma ma sam na ko yejaja ye wie no afa de punishment bi dudu e ko so soldier for say aha mo tete asa ko bu environmental protection agency EPA ni ba ko abu na mo fo ni bi e wa na soldier for say soldier for any reinforcement group na e bayi ye ba ni acheche boys ni bebre especially and man no mu kromo ene dodo na ya che omo eno na agoma say kromo ma say ewade yese mo ka mu edu omo si be say 3 days ni kote omu ni bi da adentia eni kwa say ye omo sa ye nya omu kromo omo ye mo omu kwan no mo so omu ni omo de omo mpaso adenti ana aban be ye omo sa me se hwe enye Galamsey na mu kunu mu ko ye enye ntokwa eni soldier fo omo pe omo abo omo ku omo enti na mo munne serious matter but e man say omonti ase o ma se kojan eye demonstration e dia tia the government of the day John Dramani Mahama and the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operation Secretariat staff also say they should release their husbands now. Give us back our husband. Give back our husband. Ye here ye kunu mu back. Monfa mo mai na 3 days ni ye ho hyehye ye nya bi ni ye say adjame. Ni mu hawani ye mu say yan. Ya hawani enti ene Galamsey fight. NAIMOS arrest a man for our Obuasi Amansie. SN Jikas, edgy water pumping machine motorbikes, SM Patadan no. At the same time, na a maswa yachu mukunumu because they were fighting against NAIMOS. As we said, give back our husbands. Omu here mukunumu no makwa da. Inti munye ready. Some of the mukunumu bemo.
3 days and Maya what I do any quatiada. And Maya what I do any quatiada. It's yes, we are casa by
na nyasem na yasem na asem an yenka muma yenka nukru enti wo kuna ye illegal work ukuna bogo kro no ukuna ye anroba upura gugunipa o se ya ne wache no won we mu na nkese mu no waso mu na no de magogum enka we so bete ya nya ne sa amanfo hu se they are breaking the laws the entire Ghanaian population alive and they are too at risk but they don't care but we will make them care. Now, Ugo Pemo, the managing director, Edema Ghana Water Company, Adam Munta Wakili, I say there's a shutdown our Bonsa water treatment plant in due to illegal manner. Among for Kusa with your Mukuno. I'll be so saying Anyankyirem over 1 billion, just no, I said no. Among for our more Bonsa, I friends say, among for more Bonsa water treatment plant, a more independent our Bonsa water treatment plant. No. Illegal miners are down. Papa ne say adwuma no aseni na omo say omo a friend is saying hose ni water hose ni pipes are edin so ni ko ha mo bi enye bi o aseni omo tutu ni na say no
already indicated we're calling back the contractor to see how he can now come back and do the work. But while we're doing it, we look for other alternatives to making sure that it doesn't happen again. Or we have a reliable source of water from the alternatives that we are exploring for it to continue to work irrespective of the challenges that might come up. The past 3 weeks, Bonsa has not been able to treat water, and it serves the communities towards Takwa, including Takwa itself. So that means for the past 3 weeks, they've not had quality, potable water from Ghana Water Limited. And that is quite worrying. So as we explore by the end of tomorrow, we should be able to come out with what can we do? What are the alternative way of getting clean water for some of our treatment plants to continue to operate while government, as it is vigorously tackling the illegal mining, it goes on. We have to also be looking for other alternatives to help the plant work. So we are here. This is my first stop, and this plant was constructed in 1982. Yeah, so that means it's been working for the past almost 40-something years. Yeah, 43 years. So it's an old plant. But we started experiencing this for the past 5 years, where salt normally come to block the intake. And we are working to see how we can get it.
Omontu na don't go to trap pipes in as no. Inti so ne man yom fort. Enti afai mom ano masa ko pesika foforo afa Ghana ban ho. Yeah, night space money o. Esa dey come back akofix those discipline implement friends omako sako yes water hose ne pipes are a transfer nsuo no e dey come other houses are omunya nsuo no afai no bo dis ka foforo am say Galamsey no obi aya onu kwakodi ni sika no. Na nu mi enu sika kakra da ho a ye de bo Ghana ho bra no. Ye tam de akwako ye dwuma we but obi individuals bi na nya sika no. National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretary Taskforce for Bacho Mon visiting more our Bonsa water treatment plant areas war baby Galamsey go to be an much more myself straight to prison straight to say move from go to war. Now at the same time Abuna Osei Asare, the former deputy finance minister, and also an public accounts committee chair. Mamino say on just say NDC as all fighting against Galamsey. Now fighting against Galamsey now just 160 million Ghana cedis. Say and some few days ago, I make say 2026 budget I already you know. Ghana buying at 150 million Ghana cedis, equivalent to $40 million. And ya two was yen from fighting against Galamsey. Now I know Anna Mami a friend no Abena Osei Asare. I know a deputy finance minister say and the 150 million check hey. Sade na John Dramani Mahama na nimre. So fighting Galamsey NDC. Sana Galamsey fight ye ko mo nko he bobe mo di ma me da 24-hour economy na dey say nso na manuma na mada mo nte he na Galamsey mo ba fati Galamsey pa na 150 million Ghana cedis pe abra munim the problems of Galamsey Mr. Mahama
Minister said it threatens our survival. So Mr. Speaker, if something threatens your survival, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to fight it to make sure you survive. And how can you fight it when with a ministry of 2.1 billion budget, you only give the agency to fight it 150 million Ghana cedis, Mr. Speaker? 150 million Ghana cedis out of the 2.1 billion budget given to the Ministry of Lands and Forestry. Mr. Speaker, when I compare it to the total budget, when you take out your compensation and you compare it to the total budget, 150 million, you compare it to the total budget, the contribution is 0.003%. 0.003%, Mr. Speaker. So how can you say that it goes beyond economics and it threatens our survival? If you put such an amount in there, are you telling Ghanaians that you are fighting it, or you are just putting out words and playing with Ghanaians? Mr. Speaker, like I said, the Galamsey issue also has to do with jobs. And so we were thinking that beyond that, government was going to put some monies into the alternative livelihoods so that you can take them off the Galamsey and find some jobs for them to do. Mr. Speaker, in this same budget, you look at the monies that were allocated to the alternative livelihoods, just 35 million Ghana cedis. Just 1% of the 2.1 billion Ghana cedis under Ministry of Lands and Forestry. Now, Mr. Speaker, we all know, the Minister has also quoted, that this threatens our survival. Our major rivers are recording very high turbidity levels, and which is far above the WHO guidelines for safe drinking water. Our rivers are polluted and they are poisoned. Mr. Speaker, the media reports that there's rising stillbirths, there's increased cancer and chronic diseases, farmlands rendered sterile, and fish stocks shrinking and malformed, Mr. Speaker. And so if you say that it threatens our survival, I don't expect you to put 0.003% of the total budget into something that threatens your survival. Mr. Speaker, the Galamsey menace is a war. If it's a war, then this budget, Mr. Speaker, this budget is telling us that it's like we are in a battlefield with plastic chairs instead of armors to fight and make sure we win this. Because if you send 150, which is 7% of the total budget of the Ministry of Lands and Forestry, and 0.003%, then clearly it is not a matter of survival. It is just a matter of words. Words, fluffy words, that don't have any meaning. But Mr. Speaker, we need to rise above that. This is hurting us, this is killing us, this is poisoning our food. And so we need to do something more than that. I expect that before we approve this budget and pass appropriation, the minister would have amended the monies given to fight Galamsey and also to improve on the alternative livelihoods of people who are wind of Galamsey. Yeah. That is when you can tell me that this is really threatening our survival, and so you're doing something about it. But Mr. Speaker, all said and done, I believe that we should have a Galamsey emergency program with real financing. Because even Mr. Speaker, let me quote one thing that President Mahama said on the 3rd of October 2025. He said that Ghana needs a substantially bigger budget than what is currently available if the country is to win the fight against illegal mining. This was on 3rd of October. The budget was taken to cabinet. President Mahama got the opportunity to view the budget, and he knew how much was going to be used to fight Galamsey. Because of what he said, that we need a substantially bigger budget, I was expecting that he advises the minister to put in more than he has put in the budget for Galamsey. So, Mr. Speaker, I am asking, I'm proposing, and I believe that it is the wish, it is the heart desire of our citizens out there that we come up with a Galamsey emergency program with real financing, so that, Mr. Speaker,
one time MPP 8 years, Galamsey aye West one cafe, and more than 150 million in Galamsey said when they fight it. NAIMOS if we now year 24 pickup buses, 250 motorbikes, a friend say gold board, 5 million Ghana cedis, 5 pickups. You said 160 million Ghana cedis. I can also extra. Share. You ever see getting Nango Fati Galamsey no kwa. Now guys Ghana no ni na jina kwa. If you saw me Galamsey we na ya say because economy na say ma come the na so and so we have to fight all at the same time. We are fighting all of our battle at the same time in our head. But according to Honorable Abena Osei Asare, our former deputy finance minister, Edema Kenoforiata, I a penalty no, no meaning the Jam Penantino, or say 150 million, dear John Mama, only ready, so fatigue Galamsey, MPP, Asemi, Adore, so do so won't Obuasi they be able fine name no and Galamsey fight gidigidi akoso no NAIMOS fo abowura Obuasi Amansie akwakoche amanfo name at the same time we dey mu ama ya chi omu kununum because no omu bo NAIMOS for EPA environmental protection agency for enti yakwachi omu kununum bebrebe no omo yerenum aye demonstration kese pa ashe rare say 3 days ni omunya omoni omu kununum na die rough awon paso eyesa na ya ha omo but omu nim say Galamsey ne haye enti Ghana ban John Dramani Mahama oni NAIMOS for no enya omu kununum enfamo omo sere omo pa yesa bibia duru omo nga se memani ni onti kom di omo omo kan anu aduane ayase kom and he dey omo munye serious but at the same time who go pay mu ewo a friend say another Galamsey site Galamsey ni yakoshi ni kiara no NAIMOS for action jure be na way and say over 1 billion or this guy got to add na mine sa enti ono so onye de na woni die me se hwe wasanya vim esebusa questions na wo nangasa yenya ho time say video no ye hwe na yenya IP address ni ya enyo machine nkwa na ya se uduane ye ba bechew until say you be arrest them all we aren't stopping now or never enti Galamsey fight we shall win and save Ghana and no because NAIMOS is doing everything possible to make it work. For comment at the comment section, the may can say at you mukunum. Amuya Galamsey mkobo NAIMOS for enti ene. Ya do go to my man say yenya because I has to come to me. It doesn't make sense. Should we arrest them all too? At the same time, NAIMOS egusu amochi aman for our Obuasi Amansie. Galamsey fight is still ongoing, but MPP, the former deputy finance minister, Edema Kenufurata, Honorable Abena Osei HSA 150 million Ghana cedis spent and John Dramani Mahama. Edema NAIMOS for it means the NDC is not ready to fight against Galamsey. Do you agree or disagree? MPP fighting ye than the NDC now. For comment at the comment section, I say, Uria subscribe, like it, na share mo unia eso enyebi ehwe. Edino back up Maxi Billian, our naked truth, our Oldboga trends. Macra, bye bye.